Hey guys, I'm back with a new unboxing video, another Darkness Shall Rise edition. A band I love, Florida death metal legends. It is Deicide or Deicide. Let's not get into that one already. 15 seconds in. Well, this is the Screaming Ancient Incantations box set, which features the Amon demos, which is pre-Deicide, and the first 3 full lengths, amidst all kinds of other evil trinkets and such, as one might come to expect from one of these box sets by now. I've taken a few of the bits out just again, checking everything works, everything's in good condition, rather than, opening it on camera and then being stumped. So if the order that it's packed in is slightly weird, then my bad. But first in Jürgen's order is the book. These box sets always seem to come with one of these really stunning books. It's embossed and all that good stuff. All kinds of flyers, rare photos, interviews, all that good stuff that you'd hope from an edition like this. It's a must-have kind of artifact for any fan who's kind of diehard about a band. Darkness Shall Rise have just been knocking out so many excellent ones of these. Yeah, it's mainly photos. I think there are some interviews in there from the band, and I believe some people around the band. Again, I really need to dig into this, but I wanted to give a nice upfront reaction. Next, we have this really cool patch with the artwork unique to the box set. You can have the same crisis as me of whether to use these items, the patches, the posters, or whatever, or keep everything together. We have this cool photo with the flyer showing what's on the back. Hand-numbered certificate, limited to 1,000. I mean, mine's not hand-numbered, it's just promo. But if you buy one, you'll get a unique number. A reprint of the kind of classic promo photo of Glenn Benton, looking evil as ever, back in the day, Glenn. Next, we have some of these awesome posters, double-sided, nice paper quality, nice matte finish, none of that flimsy, cheap stuff. You get, I think it was 4 of these, I might potentially be wrong, but, just some amazing photos of the band in their heyday, or at least in my opinion of their heyday. These nice live show flyers, really nice print quality as well. Those flyers must have been some, good scans. This is probably my favourite one. I don't know, I love that photo. It's just so sort of looks evil as fuck. So, we will get into the actual tape part of the tape box set now. So yeah, as I mentioned before, Deicide, these are the 2 Amon demos. If I'm not being stupid, yeah, Sacrificial demo and Feasting the Beast demo. That's a real tongue twister for me, I don't know why. If you're not familiar with the band before Deicide, Amon was very much in that kind of evil, thrashy kind of death vein. Definitely, you can see that it's a precursor, but in my opinion, these 2 demos hold validity in their own right. They're not just, oh, it's Deicide, it's worth having for completionism's sake. I think that, these are some really cool demos. Now we get into one of the best trilogies of death metal, in my opinion, ever. Of course, we have first Deicide, the debut album of Deicide. This, to me, is just evil death metal. In my opinion, it stands shoulder to shoulder with Altars of Madness, the first couple Immolation records, Onward to Golgotha. I think it's, in that very upper echelons of real death metal before it became dilute with other elements. And there's just such a strong feeling and presence on this record that it's just mad. It's pure insanity in the best way. Next, the sophomore album, Legion, I think was a very worthy follow-up. Some bands dropped the ball a bit on their second album, especially in this era. Others didn't. Morbid Angel being another example. I love Blessed Are the Sick. Is no Altars of Madness for me, but that's, again, a debate for another day. Maybe if we get a Morbid Angel box set someday, that would be cool. But yeah, Legion for me was a very worthy follow-up to Deicide. It has all of the right elements, from the kind of just bludgeoning rhythms, the intense almost technical angles in points, without going into kind of the tech death route. This just feels like a very natural continuation of what the debut set out with. And last, this album's very special to me as it was one of the first death metal, nay extreme metal albums I ever heard, which is Once Upon the Cross. This album brings back memories of being, a teenager. I wasn't even born when this came out, but, these stood the test of times. I mean, Trickle Betrayed was probably one of my most played tracks on my iPod in high school, when I was, you got the little iPods, showing my kind of old but not old enough kind of range there. But yeah, to me this really just took the first two albums, I used the word bludgeoning quality, and propelled that into a glorious new direction. For some this is the classic route. I would argue that the band have released some absolutely killer albums since these three, but there is no real argument against this being the unholy trinity of Deicide, the absolute pinnacle of what this band achieved, at least how I would see it. And yeah, this is just a really nice addition. The spines line up all cool, things like just the attention to detail. I'm going to show you some of the J cards now. And before I forget, the really nice insignia in the bottom of the box, printed everywhere. It's just, again, attention to detail. This is what we like to see, very high quality. They didn't cheap out on, a two-panel J card. You get these really nice, extensive liners, which is always glorious to see. Some labels really just don't take that much pride in their releases, and I think Darkness Shall Rise is the other end of that spectrum. Every single thing just feels thought out, careful, like a real labour of love. Trying to sort of show these in an efficient manner rather than you having to watch me fold J cards. But yeah, this is a really, really cool one. I didn't expect to receive this, actually. I got no heads up. It just turned up and I opened the box and I was like, fuck, this thing is glorious. So yeah, if you're a Deicide maniac, I mean, listening to these, I decided to put on all four of the cassettes back to back, just like I say, making sure everything works. The sound quality is good, which it is, by the way. And yeah, it just really, I'll always love Deicide. I remember getting to see them in Norwich, which is the city I live in a small local venue. Maybe 100 people there at most, probably not even that. That might be, my, at the time, 14, 15-year-old memory, imagining this crowd when it was actually maybe just a few dozen of us stood there, but it was crazy. It was nice to get a Deicide gig that wasn't cancelled as well, which, I don't know about the rest of the world, but I know for us in the UK is a very rare treat that they'll actually play their own gigs. It's sort of similar story with Morbid Angel, which is, I'm still yet to actually see Morbid Angel, in case anyone particularly wants to mourn that sadness for me. But yeah, this Deicide box set, just quickly put it back together, is really an amazing artifact of true death metal, one of the most legendary bands. And if you like death metal that is unrelentingly evil, if you don't already know Deicide, that's something to fix immediately. Quit watching this video, fix that now. And when you realise that they're one of the best death metal bands to have ever existed, go and buy this. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you'll decide to grab one of these. It's been really cool actually seeing a few people comment on the other unboxings, like, oh, man, I grabbed one. Because I appreciate, that they're not super cheap, and they're never going to be, because they're made of actually good materials with good quality content. So of course they're going to cost a pretty penny, but in my opinion they're entirely worth it. Evidently in some of your opinions they are. So yeah, I really hope you guys decide to do the metal thing and check these box sets out. I'll leave a link to order in the description. That's the word. Excellent English. And yeah, killer stuff. Thank you again to Short Works for hooking me up once more with some glorious heavy metal relics to unbox for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, stay metal.